There are microplastics in our human environment in almost every capacity that you can think of, in the air, in the water, in the food. They're going into our bodies, there's no question about that. Research has been super definitive on this point. It's not just an environmental health issue, it's not just a wildlife health issue, it is most certainly a human health issue. All of the products that are plastic that we use, they eventually break down, but they don't biodegrade, they degrade into physically smaller and smaller pieces. And so when those pieces get to be below 5 millimeters, we call them microplastics. Think about how many smaller than 5 millimeter particles an individual pen or water bottle could contain. You're talking about millions and in some cases billions of particles per item. Once that permeates and gets into the environment, it's almost impossible to clean them up. We know that microplastics are everywhere. What we don't know as well is how they get everywhere. The water behind us, Carmel Canyon, the Monterey Bay, the Monterey Submarine Canyon, these are some of the most special marine environments on our planet. This ecosystem is home to an amazing array of wildlife. It's been termed the Blue Serengeti, which I think is a great analogy for how special this ecosystem is. We're wondering if the microplastics that we find out in the bay are transported either from this local river here, from individuals that might use the beach, or from farther offshore in the North Pacific Ocean. This project samples several different components of the environment. Everything from river water all the way out to the ocean fauna, so things like whales and fish. And in between, we're looking at beach sand. We think beach sand and sediments, if you look into the ocean itself, might be one of those big reservoirs of the final resting place for a lot of our little plastic particles. We're identifying levels of exposure, and then hopefully in the near future, with work from our group, but also many, many others around the world, we hope to align that with known risk levels for various diseases or impairments, things like that. To actually identify harms caused by microplastics to wildlife in the natural environment has been very elusive, and is something that we as a scientific community are testing, but I'd say the jury is still out as to what those effects are, how intense they are, and how concerned we should be about them. But that being said, I think that even though our concern around microplastics might be outpacing what we know as their risks, this is the way we should be treating pollution, right? We shouldn't wait until we know that something causes cancer, until we know that something causes disease, to actually mitigate these issues. We know more than enough about pollution. I think this is a precautionary way to move forward and a good way to move forward in this issue.